Welcome to this short demo of Teamstudio Export version 5.0. Export allows you to archive your Lotus Notes databases to a variety of different formats. Export 5.0 adds a new data export feature, allowing you to export to SharePoint lists or CSV file format, which is in addition to the existing support for XML, HTML, and PDF formats. Export is a very simple and easy tool to use. Here I have my Lotus Notes workspace open. I'll open the IvesDev procedures database. This is a simple, very typical database design which is used for storing documents that contain text, embedded images, and file attachments. This document, for example, has a Word attachment. This is a great example of the type of database you might typically want to archive if you're moving away from the Notes platform. So let's take a look at how we can use export to generate a SharePoint list to then reference and archive this database. First, I'll switch into the export application itself. This is a Windows application that I've already configured to read all of the databases on my Domino server. I can scroll through the list to find the database that we just looked at, or there's a search function that lets me quickly find a database by title or file name. Once I've located the database, creating the SharePoint list and archive is easy. There are 3 steps. First, I create the archive, which is a full XML representation of the entire database. Once I've archived all my databases to XML format, I can safely shut down my Domino infrastructure. Everything else can be created from that. Step 2 is to generate our SharePoint list that end users may then use to reference exported data, or that may be used as part of larger Microsoft Power Platform applications. All we need to do is right-click on the database name and select Export Data. You can then choose the output type, either CSV file format, SharePoint list, or direct attachments. Select your desired SharePoint site and list deciding whether you would like to also include attachments. Next, easily select what data you would like to export to your SharePoint list based on existing views within your Notes application, or choose any field using formula to construct your own selections. Here, we select our view by business process and remove a few of the included fields. Lastly, we can choose to include a link to the PDF or HTML archive that we will also be creating. Finally, preview your data selection and click OK to begin the data export and process it into a SharePoint list. Step 3 is to then export the database to HTML or PDF format. All I have to do is, again, right-click on the database name and select the format for the output that I want. Then, Export will create the exported data as a set of browsable archives. Once the database has been exported to HTML, I can open the archive right from within Export. All of the views are reproduced in the HTML output, and I can navigate the view and open a document just like in Notes. As you can see, we preserved the look and feel of the original Notes document just as it was in the Notes client. The attachments are preserved as well as embedded image and other rich text formatting. We can now open the SharePoint list we created earlier and see all included fields and records we chose to from our original application. And when used in combination with our exported HTML archive, you can then link back to the source notes data the list entry was generated from. In this case, we have the archive hosted from a SharePoint document library. With Teamstudio Export, you can now quickly and easily generate SharePoint lists and archive your Lotus Notes databases to XML, HTML, and PDF formats. To learn more, visit us at teamstudio.com.